Hi guys. So today I want to talk about my really strong inner monologue and how it's sort of connected to my overthinking. So, for those of you who don't know, an inner monologue is when it's kind of the conversations that you're going to have internally, or it's like the conversation means dialogue, monologue, but it's like speaking internally. And it's like an inner voice, you could say. And I definitely have that, and it's very strong. Actually, sometimes it's to the point that I will zone out, and I get stuck in these like thoughts almost where I'm playing out different scenarios in my head of like talking to other people that never happened, sometimes even with people who I've never met or have never talked to. And it's it's quite strange, and it actually even gets to the point that I will, if I'm alone, I'll perform this monologue out loud, which is it can have some quite, I don't know, strange consequences. So I guess just to be clear, the like this inner monologue I have, it's distinguishable from reality. Like I'm aware that it is my inner, these are my inner thoughts, and it's not something I'm deluded in thinking is like something external, like someone talking to me or whatever. So I don't believe I have like schizophrenia or anything, because with schizophrenia, that's like when you can't distinguish between reality and this kind of stuff, right? So and it's not even like a literal like hallucination. It's kind of hard to explain if you don't have an inner monologue, because quite a lot of people claim not to. I'm going to kind of get on and talk about that at the end, but this inner monologue is very strong, and it almost never really shuts up, I guess you could say, to the point that I think it's at least related to causing to the things that cause my insomnia. I'll be lying there and it's like sometimes it's like I'm almost can't even tell if I'm sleeping or not, or if I'm just like zoning out in an inner monologue, and it kind of can melt into dreams and stuff. Sometimes I don't know if what I experienced is like the memory of an inner monologue or of a dream, and that can be strange. And nights when my insomnia is really bad. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that, but I kind of want to get back to talking about why I sometimes say my monologue out loud, and I think it's a form of verbal stimming, and I know it's like a way for me to express my thoughts and emotions in a deeper way, to kind of get it out. I definitely think it relaxes me, and because when I'm not relaxed, I don't do it. And this is really important, because there are times when I'll be like kind of like in a walk in the woods, like on my own with like my dog or whatever, and I'll be like talking to myself about some scenario. Usually not something like super like, not something like super like weird or controversial necessarily, just like rehearsing a conversation I might have with someone or something like that, and or like explaining something to myself, kind of, just working through something, I don't know, and and then there'll be someone just like there around the corner, and it's like, oh shit, that's embarrassing, like they must think I'm like a lunatic, and maybe I am, whereas I am in some sense, so I obviously have problems, but that kind of is a good bridging point for kind of talking about how, like, I've said, like, this in the monologue I have, I mainly, one of the main things I use it for is, like, rehearsing conversations and stuff. And the truth is, I really, really overthink like any kind of, like, pretty much every aspect of social interaction, which I guess is mostly like conversation, at least that I'm aware of, that I can, I really overthink it, to the point that, like, I try and make scripts in my head to follow, if I'm anticipating a social interaction, and, just like I kind of have them kind of in the background anyway, for whenever I might need them. But, but you can only do that to a certain extent. And reason I do it, obviously, is I'm trying to compensate because I don't have those natural those skills in, like, conversing with other people and that they don't come naturally. It's really, I don't know how to always, like, carry myself when I'm around other people. And I guess taking the example of, like, when I'm out, like, on a walk or something, and then I come across someone coming the other way, and all the things going through my head are just like, oh my goodness, like, okay, what do I do now? How do I act? How do I act like, in a way that doesn't make them really uncomfortable? And it's like, do I just say nothing and, like avoid eye contact? Do I say something, but then, what if I say it in a way that sounds too strange? Like, do I make eye contact, or is that rude? Or if I'm making too much eye contact, and, are they going to wonder, like, it's like, if I say hi and smile, are they going to think I'm creepy? But if I don't say anything, are they going to think I'm rude? Or, like, do I just, like, pretend there's something really important I have to look at in the other direction, so that eye contact isn't, like, I know there's an excuse not to make eye contact, These are the kind of things that go through my head, when I'm in a phase of an inner monologue. And of course goes into much more detail, like, just kind of just making up total fantasies about friendships and stuff, or, just scenarios where I'm conversing with people and thinking how they'd react to what I say and stuff like that. And this just goes over and over in my head all the time. And of course, like, in the modern world, we also have other ways of communicating with people. So, such as, like, even, like, phone calls. I really just try and avoid phone calls, especially unplanned ones. They scare me. Not just because of the noise. I don't have, like, noise on my phone. Like, I've set it to just, like, vibrate, but even then that scares me. But it even, like, extends to, like, texts and emails. I worry so much about what I say and how I say it, to the, and, like, if I've put the wrong thing, or if I've put too much, too little, missed the wrong thing, or whatever. And to the point that sometimes I'm not mentally able to send a text or reply to someone's text, or whatever. And even sometimes I get to the point where I will actually, like, snooze notifications on, like, a chat or whatever. Not because I, like, hate that person or anything, but just because I'm so, like, terrified of what's going on, really, like, what that person's gonna say to me, and sometimes I just need a while to process it. It's really weird. I guess it does make me sound like a bit of a coward, and maybe there's some truth to that, but really, cowardice, maybe that's not a nice thing to say, but whatever way you look at it, it is a manifestation of severe social anxiety. And yeah, of course, I know why I have that social anxiety, and yeah, it's difficult, because yeah, it's like the thought of, I don't know, like some like forms of like communicating with people sometimes, and especially about like, I don't know, like things where I'm like asking a favor for someone, basically to where I'm like opening myself up to the possibility of being turned down for something. That's like my kryptonite, to be honest. Yeah, like I can't. I can't do that. I mean, if it's some very simple things, like someone I know who will like text me back and be nice to me and stuff, like asking, oh, where are you, or whatever, or, I don't know, something like that. I don't know, something really mundane like that. Like, yeah, usually I can. People I'm familiar with and whatnot, like I know like how they're gonna reply already. Like, that's kind of okay. Yeah, I think it's the lack of predictability, because my brain doesn't have that kind of predicting power to know how people are going to respond. Like, it's something I can't. It's not in my locus of control, and so and that scares me on a very deep level, and so yeah, I spend so much time, again, to the point that like I literally zone out, and it's almost like I'll just like teleport a little bit in time or something, and just because I'm spending so much time like trying to analyze like the social mechanics of people, I guess, and running just like running the clock forward on different scenarios of like, oh, what if I say this to this person, maybe this will happen, or if, yeah, it feels like there's so many variables, and yeah, I get stuck overthinking it because of that, and yeah, that does manifest in a very strong inner monologue. Of course, I use my inner monologue for other things as well, like, beyond just like running through social stuff. So like, I do use it for philosophical means and stuff like that. I use it for when I'm thinking about like topics to discuss here. Of course, I use it for other stuff. It's not just, oh, what do people think about me, but you get people who will say like, oh, don't worry what people think about you, like it doesn't matter, like just go be yourself, bro. But like there are consequences to how you're seen by other people, and to like have your behavior can affect like how easy it is for you to like navigate the world. And a lot of the people who say that, they don't really struggle with autism, like anxiety, personality disorders, all that stuff, because they and a lot of the time, they have that natural ability to pick up on social cues and to understand other people in that way. And so for them, being yourself is easy, really. It's easy. And yeah, you see like there are these people who they just kind of go about and they're like, oh no, I got a text, oh, I got a phone call, oh, I got 20 phone calls today, oh, it doesn't matter, oh, I'm just gonna, oh, I'm walking past this person, oh, I just say hi. And yeah, there's like no like there's no like anxiety they have, or if they have it, that they really, really hide it really well. And they're not wandering around in the woods talking to themselves to kind of prep up to prep themselves to like talk to see a person, and they've probably had a lot of positive feedback socially for most of their most of their lives. And this is kind of one thing I want to talk about with inner monologues, right? Like when you observe like other people, like not everyone, but a lot of people, it seems like they sometimes have this autopilot mode, like where they're just, and maybe it's just my theory of mind, my like poor theory of mind maybe just makes me jump to this conclusion, but like, or this perception, but like to me it seems like a lot of people, they're just going about their day doing different things, like running errands, like doing tasks, whatever, like, and they're not really thinking too much about it, and they're not really contemplating the meaning of life. They're not like looking or seeing, oh, there's someone coming this way, all right, time to like, like fight or flight mode, like, right, how am I gonna like act normal, whatever, like it seems that like probably most people don't do that, don't feel the need to do that, and or they have a really good front if they do, and they just it just totally doesn't bother them, and if they need to go and talk to someone about something, they can just go and approach someone and talk to them, and they don't need to like be careful about like when they go into like really like busy areas and stuff, and or when they're likely to meet other people, and it's almost like they don't get like strong, it seems they don't get like really strong like emotional responses from the world. And yeah, it just seems, I mean, I don't want to say NPC because that sounds derogatory, when actually I sort of, in a way, like admire these people, and, because like and I'm almost jealous because it does seem like, their lives are relatively stress-free. But yeah, almost like that NPC thing, really. It just like, like very, very like lack of anxiety and like emotional responsiveness, and yeah, like of course I do, like most of them will have this neurotypical privilege where they don't need to, they don't act, or they don't have difficulty with being around other people, to be honest, and so that they can just get on with it. But yeah, like there are like reports, right, that like when people have been like asked in studies like whether they have about their inner monologue, like a lot of people, like about half of people say they don't have one at all. And that's really strange, and some people kind of equate that with being an NPC, and again, I don't feel super easy about that word. Sometimes it's nice to use, but it's whatever. I don't really have a strong opinion on that at the moment, but that's a quite different type of existence, really, not having that inner monologue. And I think it is like those people who just kind of go around their day and seem like they're on autopilot, and they don't have anxiety, they don't overthink everything. Doesn't matter if they get like loads of texts, or like if they have to like ask someone for a favor, whatever, they just do it and don't worry about like the response beyond what is like strictly like material, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on this. I think I've done quite a good job trying to articulate what my experience of this is like. But do let me know if you've had a similar experience with inner monologue and like the overthinking, social anxiety. Because I think it is a really important topic, and it's a really quite an important thing for you guys to know about me. So yeah, thank you for listening, and have a good rest of your day if you can. All right, goodbye.